right here. What an awesome pass through the slot, onto the stick of Batherson. Kachuk in tight up, let's get going, scores! Brady Kachuk wins it in overtime for Ottawa.
Welcome to Sens Talk. My name is Brandon and I am your host. You probably clicked on this video expecting me to rant about today's 5-1 loss to Montreal. That's not going to happen. Ottawa, they looked like they mailed it in today. The trade deadline is in 48 hours, and it's clear to me that some of the guys on this team know that this is their last game as an Ottawa Senator, and they really didn't look like they cared whatsoever out there. Against a team like Montreal, a rival, Saturday Night Hockey in the Bell Center, one of the loudest arenas in the NHL. It's kind of embarrassing for the fact that Ottawa, for the most part, basically all their players showed little to no effort tonight. So because of that, why would I rant when I can just paint the bigger picture for you? And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to take a look at the bigger picture rather than the embarrassing 5-1 score in a game where most of Ottawa's players probably won't be here in the next 5 years anyways. Now, let's get into the bigger picture of today's loss. Ottawa lost this game 5-1, but their lone goal, this is important, came off a beautiful feed from Colin White, who has looked good since returning from injury. Colin White with a nifty no-look pass to Josh Norris from his office on the right hash mark side. Josh Norris puts it home on the power play for his 26th goal on the season. What a goal here. That is 13 power play goals on the year for Josh Norris. Get used to seeing Josh Norris scoring from that spot on the power play for years. I mean years to come here in the nation's capital. That's also 4 goals for Josh Norris in his last 3 games. That's where the good things end for Ottawa tonight. Like I said, they lost 5-1. But before we get into some of the game notes and the bigger picture, here's a trade update for you. Firstly, Nick Paul did not play again tonight, and Elliot Friedman pointed this out during one of the intermissions, that Ottawa and Nick Paul are still somewhat negotiating and an extension is still possible. The likelihood is he will be dealt out of Ottawa by Monday's trade deadline. However, the door is still open potentially for an extension with Ottawa and Nick Paul. They're pretty close when it comes to actual dollar terms. I'll put it on the screen here. Ian Mendes put a great piece out the other day, I believe, on The Athletic. As you can see on the screen here, Ottawa's looking for something more below, like 2.7, 2.8 million. Nick Paul is obviously looking for something north of that. With Elliot Friedman saying the door is still open for a possible extension, who knows, maybe Ottawa and Nick Paul can meet in the middle and get this thing done. But also, after seeing some of the trades that happened even today, there's some good value for Nick Paul on this market. So Ottawa's in a good spot here. They have 2 options. One, trade Nick Paul, get some good assets and good value back, especially with how the trade market has been, or keep a very valuable player for your bottom 6. So it's a win-win for Ottawa here, frankly. Some other notes in the trade news: Austin Watson, Josh Brown, Victor Mete, and Sanford are all also drawing interest apparently in the trade market. So stay tuned tomorrow, and on Monday we'll be keeping you updated on that. Now, tonight Gustavsson did not look too strong, and he hasn't looked strong as of late, to be honest with you. Has a below 880 save percentage in his last 5 games. Only one of those games he has an above 900 save percentage, so he has not looked good as of late whatsoever. His glove side is always tucked in, allowing a clear shot for shooters to pickpocket his glove side top shelf spot. He also plays very deep in his net, and maybe this is a lack of confidence, especially with Ottawa deploying him without a real routine. They're just kind of throwing him in there up until as of late. They've been kind of just throwing him in there because of the lack of consistency in net. So, once again, maybe it's a lack of confidence for Filip Gustavsson. But, at the end of the day, you got to challenge the shooter much more than he did, especially on a couple of those goals tonight. And more importantly, the glove. Can't have that tucked in. Get that glove up and block that hole. Because, I'm telling you, Filip Gustavsson continually gets pickpocketed on the glove side, and that's got to change. And I'm sure I don't have to tell him that. I'm sure his goalie coach has told him that. But it's not all Filip Gustafsson's fault. The absence of Tom Chabot is very noticeable. The Sens defense tonight was all over the place. 3 out of the 5 goals on Gustafsson were on odd man rushes for Montreal. So, listen, at the same time, yes, Filip Gustavsson needs to do a better job at challenging the shooter and coming out and putting the glove up a little more. But at the same time, Ottawa's defense was all over the place, and there was 3 out of the 5 goals were odd man rushes. So there's a little bit of a give or take here. I'm not going to just throw all the blame on Gustavsson tonight, But this is not just tonight, though. Like I said, below 880 save percentage in his last 5 games. That has to change. So with Ottawa going to likely give him a lot more starts down the stretch here, hopefully that can help build back his confidence. The last stat I want to bring up is frankly really important. On this season, Ottawa is 1-28-3 after this loss, after trailing 40 minutes of play. On the other side of things, though, when they are leading after 40 minutes of play, they do have an 18-1-1 record. That's pretty good. The problem is they seem to just pack it in going to the third period of play. No matter who's winning, it looks like the score is just going to hold. So, on the defensive side of things, that's great. Ottawa's holding leads. You love to see it. But the problem is they're trailing, and very often. They've been trailing in 32 games this season, all right? And they've only won one of those games. That is not good, all right? It's going to happen. You're going to be down by a goal or two going to the third period of play. We need to see some pushback. Tonight especially, we didn't see it. And frankly, all season, we haven't seen it. That's got to change, and that's got to change now. And over the whole span of head coach Smith's time in Ottawa, Ottawa has a 5-75-9 record when trailing after 2 periods of play. That has to change. Because let me tell you, like I said, especially with the inconsistency in net, you're going to be down by a couple goals at times going to the third period of play. We need to see fight. We need to see pushback. We can't just roll over and die going to the third period of play. That's what's happening right now. That's what's been happening for years now under DJ Smith, and that's got to change. So that's on the coaching staff. And that has to change, because let me tell you something. Ottawa has all this talent, but it doesn't matter if they're just going to roll over and die and just get into the same routine going to the third period of play. It's a problem if players are sitting in the locker room in the second intermission, they're listening to the coach, but then they realize, well, we're probably going to lose anyway, so who cares? That seems to be what the problem is here. There seems to be no push in the third period of play. So Ottawa loses this one 5-1, and like I said in the beginning of the video, we're going to take a look at the bigger picture, and we just did, obviously. And, the defense looks terrible and all over the place, which is obviously expected with Chabot out. He eats 28 to 30 minutes of ice time a night. That's almost that is irreplaceable. So, it's not a shocker that Ottawa's defense was all over the place, but that's been kind of the problem all season, too. The goaltending, Gustavsson, not a strong stretch of games as of late. And overall, Ottawa just seems to roll over and die when the third period of play starts if they're down going into it. So, things got to change. I don't have to tell you that. Let me know in the comment section down below what you want to see going in the next season. Do we need to bring in some players? Do we need to fire the coach? Do we need to change the management? Tell me what you think Ottawa needs to do. Tonight was embarrassing, but overall, the bigger picture looks even worse. Besides that, thank you all for watching. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Most importantly, turn the notification bell on so you get notified whenever we upload a new video. I'll likely see you tomorrow when Ottawa makes the trade. So I'll see you all then. Go Sens, go.